Imposter syndrome. I was speaking with a client earlier and she was talking about how she feels like she wants to start a private practice and she has imposter syndrome. And she said it as if, maybe I didn't experience that or not many people experience that. Like she was kind of like almost embarrassed or ashamed that she was feeling it. And what I told her was that I don't really know many people that don't experience imposter syndrome when they do something new or they're trying to influence other people or do something good or starting a business, especially entrepreneurs starting a business. I think there's probably one personality type that wouldn't have any imposter syndrome, and that would probably be a narcissist. But the rest of the people, which is the majority, we have imposter syndrome when we start something new. We have those voices that say, who the hell do you think you are? Who who do you think you are doing this? What makes you think you can do this? What makes you think you're good enough for this? What makes you think you know enough to do this? I know I felt all of those things. I'd been through all of my schooling, 7 years of school and supervision, and then, 4 years at an agency. And I decided to start my private practice. I was terrified. I mean, I was so terrified that I tell this story. I remember setting up my website and putting my phone number on it and being like, I hope people call and I hope I can get this started. I had an office, I had furniture, I had the website, and the first time this phone rang, I remember thinking, I don't recognize that number. Could that be a client? I went through this whole thing in my head. Could this be my first client? Like, oh my God, I don't know what I would say. I'm kind of freaking out here. I think I'll just let it go to voicemail. And I let it go to voicemail. And the voicemail was someone reaching out for therapy. And I was like, okay, I got to get myself geared up. What am I going to say? I wrote down a few words that I wanted to have available because as much as I believed I could do the work that I wanted to do, I was scared to death in the beginning. And I called her back and we set up an appointment. And I remember driving to the appointment and sweating and just feeling this anxiety like, what if do I really know everything I need to know? I don't want to screw people up. I don't want to say the wrong thing and mess up. Like, it was a lot. So I got to work to my office, and I put the coffee on and I had my water bottles and I was all ready. And she came, my first client came, and she was just adorable. And we had a great session and she left and it was like, just felt so good. But if I had allowed this imposter syndrome to stop me, I can't tell you how many times I thought I should just stay at the agency. They give me the clients. I'm doing great. I understand what I need to know for these clients. And, if I had stayed, I would have been miserable because the whole reason I went to school was to start a private practice one day. That was always the goal. I didn't know how I was going to get there and I was glad it was far off, but that was always my goal. And if I had listened to those voices and the imposter syndrome and my anxiety, that I think, on some level it's not exactly the same, but it's universal when we set out to do something brave or courageous. So I just wanted to share that with you. If you're struggling with starting something you've always wanted to start and you're scared to death, keep going.